At some point in your life, you've probably heard somebody say texting is ruining English. I know I have. Maybe it's a teacher, a parent, or somebody online saying we don't know how to write anymore. But I started to wonder if that's actually true. In this video, I'm going to look at where the idea came from, why people believe it, and what's really going on when we text. This picture kind of says it all. You've got somebody from an older generation used to reading from books and writing things out the traditional way, now looking at text message on his phone and just not understanding it. To him, all the abbreviations, emojis, and short words probably look like mistakes. This is where the myth really comes from. People see something new and assume that the language is falling apart. This headline might look kind of dramatic, but it's real. People actually used to say stuff like this all the time. In the 1950s, some adults thought that comic books would make kids forget how to read properly. Before that, they blamed the telephone and even the printing press for supposedly ruining the language. Every generation finds something new to blame, so in today's world it's texting. But it's the same story repeating itself. These are all kinds of things people say when they talk about texting. You'll hear stuff like grammar's dead, texting is make us lazy, and no one can spell anymore. It sounds dramatic, but that's what makes the myth so easy to believe. People see short text or abbreviations and assume it means we've all gotten lazy. But language doesn't disappear just because we use it differently. The problem is, believing this myth can actually hurt people. When teachers or employers assume that texters are lazy or uneducated, it can create an unfair bias. Like here, a student gets a bad grade not because our ideas were bad, but because people assume texting habits mean bad writing. It's unfair, and it makes people feel like the way they communicate every day doesn't count as real English. Here's what research actually shows. Linguists who use language and technology have found that texting does not ruin writing. It just adds another layer. Most people already know when to use texting shortcuts and when to write more formally. For example, you might be texting a friend, "You coming?" But if you're emailing a professor, you would automatically switch to, "Will you be attending office hours?" That ability to change your language depending on context is something called code switching. And code switching is far from being a problem. It actually shows that it's a sign of language awareness. Studies have also shown that texters can move between informal and formal writing just as easily as people who don't text as much. So instead of being a threat to English, texting proves how flexible and smart we are, using language in different settings based on environment. If anything, texting has made English even more creative and expressive than ever. Think about how we use emojis or repeated letters, or adding a crying, laughing emoji to show emotion and tone. That's not bad grammar, that's written intonation. People using symbols to express the feelings that speech would normally carry in person. Texting also helps us show humor, sarcasm, and personality, and that's something that doesn't always come across in plain writing. When you say okay with a period, it does not mean the same thing as just saying okay. Those tiny details do add meaning. This kind of creativity shows that English is not dying, it's evolving. Just like how slang or regional dialects can change over time, texting is a part of how language grows. It's fast, funny, and emotional, and it's real communication, and that's the opposite of language decay. So no, I don't think texting is ruining English. It just shows another chapter in how our language continues to grow and change over time. New generations will come and add new words, new styles, and new ways to connect and communicate with one another. I think overall that it shows more creativity rather than carelessness. And I think this is something we should all appreciate. Thank you for listening.